Hello, and welcome back to The Witness. We finished part of this. We got a laser out of it. And I guess I'm back to wondering. There's still some stuff I haven't finished here, but I'm not entirely sure how relevant it is, given that I have already done what I assume is the main task. So it's going to wander around and look for a new area. I'm looking for new tutorials, mostly. Have I gone this way? Yes, I did, and there was nothing here, which is why I don't really remember. We have the statue of the guy reaching for the cup, and then his shadow being kind of interesting. Shadow, the cup is kind of circular, but I'm starting to get the feeling that there's a lot in this game which doesn't really have anything to do with the actual gameplay, and it's just more atmospheric. You're just kind of wandering around and finding things for the sake of finding things. So I'm not going to worry about making sense of absolutely everything I come across. This, I believe, is where I first got to the boat. Now, I don't want to take the boat again. I'll just get summoned out of the water. That's convenient. Also, a mystery as to how the inside of the boat isn't filled with water, but... Right, so we have a map. That's what I was looking for. So if I look at this, I'm assuming the dot represents where we are. The last time I did this, I went around this way. So... let's look at a few landmarks here, make a few observations. This, I'm assuming, is where we started. We have, yeah, symmetry over here, it looks like. We did. Is this more symmetry? Have I done this? Sure. Black and white squares. Hexagons. I don't know if we've done that. We did stars. We did the binary trees. With the windmill. Town. That icon, is that the building I just did with the perspective stuff? Now this looks the same as this, but with an extra black dot. So is it just a more advanced version? Well, we've got 3 of them up here. Okay, so this is going to be the yellow squares that are in shapes. Did I just skip this? Oh, maybe because I approached this end and then I continued going because I didn't like what I saw here where I pressed right, because this was that weird swampy place with the colored water, if I remember right. That's an icon that we've seen, but we've never actually understood. I've never even really tried to understand it. So presumably if I go up here, I'll be able to understand that. Okay. So basically, I want to be on the opposite side of the island that I'm on, or I want to kind of just continue. It looks like I haven't gone this way, so if I've gone this direction, let's just continue and not take the boat. Not escape. We'll continue walking. And, oh right, there's also some weird stuff going on here that I could access from the boat. And I did notice the boat had a stop in various speeds, so we might want to just stop the boat in a certain position in order to solve a puzzle involving looking at the mountainside here. Alright, so I had an option of going along the shore, but I have opted to take a somewhat hidden path and avoid that panel that I can obviously interact with. Hmm. Yellow box, but it looks a little bit different than the lasers. Hmm. We got some sort of garden here. And another path. Right, okay, so that was the area that I went into back. Interesting. All these roots. Rather than continue forward here, let's actually be a little bit more methodical about this. Since at this point, I think the challenge is just finding stuff to do. So let's continue along the shore. And investigate this. Okay, that doesn't look too hard. Okay, I just have to separate it. Right, that gets us in here. Okay, maybe tutorials. I guess the door has to open. Okay, it's very, very transparent glass. Alright, so a bunch of panels, and then we get to do something else, so this goes down. Interesting. Oh, that's what that is. It's a cover. Okay. Um, just split the colors into different sections. Hmm. Yeah, I think that. Oh, doing that. So let's go this way instead. There we go. I don't need the whites to be together necessarily. Alright, just tap once and I turned. Nice. Hmm. And then they rotate that to make it so that I can't just do the same thing. However, all I can get, that's the thing, is I have to... Hmm. Okay, well, if we do something like that... Yeah, this one's trickier. Okay, it's just a matter of starting in the right direction, and then it kind of falls together. Hmm. Yeah, it's not quite working. How about if I do this first? The problem with that is I can never... Yeah, this is terrible. That just seems really, really bad, but that's why we're gonna try it. Hmm. Yeah, like this start just doesn't work. These reds are really the problem here. Okay, there we go. Oh? Oh, I didn't separate the reds and the blues. Um... Hmm. Yeah. These yellows are kind of awkward as well. Like, I can't do that because then I can't separate the blues and the reds. Do that. But then... I don't know, I liked that as a start. But it just doesn't work, so it's not good. What if I did... Not gonna... Okay, what if I do that? There we go. Door opens as expected. Okay, so with something like this, with every single space being filled, that might actually make it easier because that means there's less choice because I'm forced to do things in order to get it to work. Um, Actually, this just looks straight up impossible. At a glance, I think there's going to be too many. Like, I can't separate here the pink, the red, and the green. Huh. If I do that, get those separate. Because the problem is now I can't separate red and pink. Hmm. Color could have something to do with this. Feels like we've seen a lot of flowers in various places. Purple bell peppers, apparently. Which are a thing. So maybe some of these colors aren't different enough that they need to be separated. The mouse is a little bit stiff. Black doesn't look good. Okay. So what happened there? I decided that red and pink were close enough together that they were the same color. Green and teal, I guess, were both greens. Green adjacent. I feel like teal and blue probably could have gone together as well, and then blue and black are both dark. I don't know, this is really nebulous. This is the sort of thing that I don't like. Because now I'm just trying to guess, why did this work? Like I had an idea that it was obviously impossible to completely separate every single color. I use the term obviously impossible a lot in this game, I'm noticing. Um, so I started trying something else, and then this just happened to work. I don't like this. You don't like this at all. So we have to decide what stuff is considered to be close enough. So, for example, green and yellow I could see maybe going together, but not with black. Maybe it's just no. Okay. Now I'm being punished for making the wrong guess by having to do this. Um. Now, red and pink doesn't necessarily have to go together, but based on this solution, I feel like if red and pink explicitly don't go together here, then that's a really mean set of rules. So I'm going to assume this is still one block. But now the issue, well, I could do that. That would separate the greens from the blacks, but the thing is the blacks and the yellows go together now, which is almost certainly wrong. Like this is telling me black and blue can go together. And that tells me yellow and green. And I feel like the point of green and teal here is it's saying, like, they both contain some of the similar... Like, they're both blues, in a sense. They both are colors that are produced from blue and something else. So mixing yellow with green seems like it should work. Blue and green should also be possible to mix. Black... Maybe black just goes with anything. Maybe I can just ignore black. Okay, that work. I don't know if there's any other solutions I could be trying here. The problem here is if I separate red and pink, which I think I want to do, then it's really just two ways to do it. I can do that or I can do this. But the problem with both of those solutions is it forces black and green to be together, which would. Because now there's no way to get black and green to not mix. Or if I do that, then I still have these together. But now I have black and yellow, which I did before, right? This is a solution that I did. Yeah, that didn't work. I mean, I could carve out that, but there's no way this is going to work. I mean, I can just check to confirm that it's not going to work, but I really don't like it when I don't understand the rules to a puzzle. But I highly doubt I'm going to find a hint for this somewhere else. I feel like that this is just the experience of this game. It's just doing this over and over until you somehow stumble into the solution. So this doesn't work because there's no way to get black separate. Which is why I was doing this. So the theory I was going with there was that maybe black doesn't want any empty squares. Is there any way I can modify this slightly? Oh, okay. Work. Let's see, the problem then, if I'm trying to keep black and blue together, I don't know, that seems like a really good thing to do, but now we can't get yellow separate unless I do that. Is there a way to somehow do this, but with the black and blue section separated from the red and pink section? The reason I'm having to go all the way up here is because I'm trying to block the black off, because if I do that, it doesn't work. If I do that, it's even worse. Like, generally, you don't want to take up more space than you need. It's not going to work because then we have black mixed with green, which I'm assuming doesn't work. If I do it this way, I have another issue. I think I've tried this where it's just two sets of two colors. Doesn't work. Okay, we're done with that because pencil's done. Don't understand what I'm supposed to do, so trying to do things in order to guess what the thing is I'm supposed to be working on is not a good time, so we're done with this section. Never coming back here, probably. Alright. There was a path up to the left, a couple of paths up to the left. Let's go somewhere else. Alright, I guess that's a dead end there. Interesting. Is that the same black pillar that we saw from the other place? We're too far away, right? That's gotta be different. Cross here. Yeah, nothing is lit up on you. How did we get up here? This way. Yeah, I think this is a new area. I saw what looked like a panel, but I'm... Ah, okay. No idea what the solution would be for that, but I can try to open it from this end. Okay, that needs power. Looks like entrance underground, maybe? Well, I guess we can follow this cable. Or not. Kind of disappears. Here's another one, possibly the same one. I just had a terrifying thought. This might be a diamond grid, and the path through here is the path that I have to trace. I hope that's not the case. Okay, well, we're here. Go left. Trying to avoid stepping over that bamboo. There might be something to that, but I don't really want to do. I really want to try to track that in my head. And it would only open up a shortcut anyway. Okay, you need power. Okay, so there are... There are a bunch of these boxes in here that need power from somewhere. Thought I saw a cable, but I guess it was just a branch. Alright, we're back here. Are you still lit up? Yes, you still have 2 icons on you. I can get to you. Okay, well, we found this one. That is obviously the cup, which I couldn't quite figure out how to get. Like, I think I needed. Well, you watched the previous episode, but I think I know what configuration I need. I just didn't see a method by which I could get the barriers to be in the positions I needed them in. Okay, then it's dark on this side, so I can't see it as clearly, but they do exist. Hmm. Alright, so this goes to here. Okay, well, that's a totally random set of branches that in no way has anything to do with this puzzle. I think I might have just found a solution for this. Now I just need to figure out how to line this up. It's not gonna zoom into position for me. This, yeah, this camera process is not my favorite. It's just really fiddly. I feel like this one best likelihood. But I guess I can just guess based on where I think these branches go, and then yeah, I can kind of guess, and then I can try to solve the puzzle from a clear vantage point without the obstacle in the way. So we're going 4 up, 1, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. 4, 1, 3, 2. I don't have a clear vantage up here. Come on. 4, 1, 3, 2. Oh, there's a dot. Oh. So we have to cover the dot, separate the black and the white, and follow the correct path, which means that there's more to it than just... And then yeah, this and then there's a whole bunch of false information here in terms of unnecessary routes that don't. Like, this might not be the right answer, but then I need to guess which of these is the one that I'm supposed to be trying to line up as well. Right, so the problem with this one is that while it does separate the black and the white, it very clearly doesn't touch the central dot. Because that pattern pretty sure is this. Which tells me I mean, I might be in the wrong starting spot. Why am I starting there? Because that's the only spot that kind of has a path. That's the other thing. If I have the right camera angle, I can actually probably just solve the whole thing. Maybe if I cover that dot with a branch so I can't see it, then it'll work. I don't think that this is quite clean, though. Yeah. Nope, well, that very clearly is what is being shown by this branch pattern, though. So this is the wrong one. All right, here, if I want this one to match up, it doesn't look like there's anything here that would even be close to fitting with this branch pattern. Okay, so it just doesn't work. Uh, Does looking at it from this angle help? that was the one I was trying to do. And this looks like... So this is where I was lining it up. From that angle down there, like it did look like there were other options. Like this one... looks like it should be something, but then I just don't have a thought I can stand that makes any sense here. Because when I back away from it, it goes down. There's this. Maybe? Four. Four. Then up. So over four, up two. Does separate the black. Hold on, what's that? Okay, we found it. Hmm. To be honest, I'm very close to wanting to take a break from this game again. Because even when I'm solving stuff, it doesn't feel satisfying. It might just be these types of puzzles that aren't good. Should probably just run to the other side of the island, because there's still some stuff I haven't found there. Oh. Never mind, I found another YouTube video. Pattern has been established. Okay. Right, so being in here was kind of pointless anyway. Don't remember offhand. Don't remember offhand what the orientation was for that, but I have video evidence, so I can refer to this in the future. Because I guess I'll timestamp this, so if I'm going back there at some point, maybe I'll take a bunch of screenshots and fill in all the other videos once I've collected them all. Alright, and then there's this. Which... I think is just a shortcut back. So ultimately, I don't think that door matters. Okay, well, that... I mean, there's obviously something else I didn't do. Because there is the matter of this, and all of the boxes. But I didn't see I didn't see a power source for it anywhere. Follow the cable. If I go back down this way, I think it just leads me back to the central area. Yeah. Oh, there's a hand. Okay, but the cable... Does it connect to this? Moving on. Well, we made it to the hand. Guess we've never gone up here. Okay, so we finally found something. The recorder, I don't really care all that much. I probably won't even... maybe I'll listen to it at the end. This thing... probably only works once I have enough lasers. Statue of a laptop. Interesting. That looks like 4 out of 7 to me. Wait, what is this then?
Up there, you go around every hour and a half, time after time after time. You wake up usually in the mornings, and just the way that the track of your orbits go, you wake up over the Mideast, over North Africa. As you eat breakfast, you look out the window as you're going past, and there's the Mediterranean area, and Greece, and Rome, and North Africa, and the Sinai, the whole area. And you realize that in one glance, that what you're seeing is what was the whole history of man for years, the cradle of civilization. And you go around down across North Africa and out over the Indian Ocean and look up at that great subcontinent of India, pointed down toward you as you go past it. And Ceylon off to the side, Burma, Southeast Asia, out over the Philippines, and up across that monstrous Pacific Ocean. Vast body of water. You've never realized how big that is before. And you finally come up across the coast of California and look for those friendly things. Los Angeles and Phoenix and on across El Paso. And there's Houston. There's home. And you look, and sure enough, there's the Astrodome. And you identify with that, you know? It's an attachment. And down across New Orleans, and then looking down to the south, and there's the whole peninsula of Florida laid out. And all the hundreds of hours you spent flying across that route, down in the atmosphere, all that is friendly again. And you go out across the Atlantic Ocean and back across Africa. And you do it again, and again, and again. And that identity, that you identify with Houston, and then you identify with Los Angeles, and Phoenix, and New Orleans, and everything. And the next thing you recognize in yourself is you're identifying with North Africa. You look forward to that. You anticipate it. And there it is. That whole process begins to shift of what it is you identify with. When you go around it in an hour and a half, you begin to recognize that your identity is with that whole thing. And that makes a change. You look down there, and you can't imagine how many borders and boundaries you crossed again and again and again. And you don't even see them. At that wake-up scene, the Mideast, you know there are hundreds of people killing each other over some imaginary line that you can't see. From where you see it, the thing is a whole, and it's so beautiful. And you wish you could take one from each side in hand and say, look at it from this perspective. Look at that. What's important? And so a little later on, your friend, again those same neighbors, another astronaut, the person next to you goes out to the moon. And now he looks back and sees the Earth not as something big where he can see the beautiful details, but he sees the Earth as a small thing out there. And now that contrast between that bright blue and white Christmas tree ornament and that black sky, that infinite universe, really comes through. The size of it, the significance of it, it becomes both things. It becomes so small and so fragile, and such a precious little spot in that universe that you can block it out with your thumb. And you realize that on that small spot, that little blue and white thing is everything that means anything to you. All of history and music and poetry and art and war and death and birth and love, tears, joy, games, all of it is on that little spot out there that you can cover with your thumb. And you realize that that perspective, that you've changed, that there's something new there. That relationship is no longer what it was. And then you look back on the time when you were outside on that EVA and those few moments that you had the time because the camera malfunctioned, that you had the time to think about what was happening. And you recall staring out there at the spectacle that went before your eyes. Because now, you're no longer inside something with a window looking out at a picture. But now you're out there. And what you've got around your head is a goldfish bowl, and there are no limits here. There are no frames. There are no boundaries. You're really out there, over it, floating, going 25,000 miles per hour, ripping through space, a vacuum, and there's not a sound. There's a silence, the depth of which you've never experienced before. And that silence contrasts so markedly with the scenery and the speed with which you know you're going. That contrast, the mix of those two things, really comes through. And you think about what you're experiencing and why. Do you deserve this? This fantastic experience? Have you earned this in some way? Are you separated out to be touched by God, to have some special experience here that other men cannot have? You know the answer to that is no. There's nothing that you've done that deserves that earned that. It's not a special thing for you. You know very well at that moment, and it comes through to you so powerfully, that you're the sensing element for man. You look down and see the surface of that globe that you've lived on all this time, and you know all those people down there. They are like you. They are you. And somehow you represent them when you are up there. A sensing element, that point out on the end, and that's a humbling feeling. It's a feeling that says you have a responsibility. It's not for yourself. The eye that doesn't see does not do justice to the body. That's why it's there. That's why you're out there. And somehow you recognize that you're a piece of this total life. You're out on that forefront and you have to bring that back somehow. And that becomes a rather special responsibility. It tells you something about your relationship with this thing we call life. And when you come back, there's a difference in that world now. There's a difference in that relationship between you and that planet, and you and all those other forms of life on that planet, because you've had that kind of experience. It's a difference, and it's so precious. And all through this, I've used the word you because it's not me. It's not Dave Scott. It's not Dick Gordon, Pete Conrad, John Glenn. It's you. It's us. It's we. It's life. It's had that experience. And it's not just my problem to integrate. It's not my challenge to integrate, my joy to integrate. It's yours. It's everybody's. Russell Schweikart, 1975.
So, perhaps unexpectedly, I actually have quite a bit to say about that. And at the same time, to be honest, I have no idea what she was saying because I wasn't really listening. I was hearing the words, but I wasn't really processing what the words were, because after a certain point, I just started to think about other things. And what this made me wonder is what the creator of this game was thinking when they added these into the game. What is this thing's purpose? Why is it here? What was the author trying to say? The author being the developer in this case. And I feel like this space to point, these recordings are very similar to a lot of the statues that we've seen in the environment, a lot of the set pieces that we've seen out in this world. They seem to just be window dressing. They're here for the sake of having stuff here. And there could very well be some sort of hidden meaning. I tried with like God and invisibility, I think was one of the topics, one of the previous ones. And I tried to relate that to a nearby puzzle that had the lines that I was drawing were disappearing over time. But now I think that that was just a massive stretch on my part, and that these probably don't actually serve any purpose to the game as a whole. And instead, they're just here because it was important to the developer of the game for some reason. Similar probably to those YouTube lectures that we can go watch in that basement. No. So I think that for my own sanity, I will run with the assumption that these recorders have nothing of value to the puzzle game experience of the witness, and that they are purely an aesthetic thing. Now, there is a possibility that there is some hidden meaning in these, in which case, well, this one was quite long, and they said a whole bunch of stuff, only a fraction of which could possibly be relevant. And at that point, it's looking for a needle in a haystack, kind of like a lot of the other puzzles in this game. So, I mean, this could very well be part of some sort of meta puzzle. But if it is, it seems like entirely too much work to sift through. So, for my sanity, I will assume it is not that, and that it is just here for the sake of being here. If you wish to engage with it, if you wish to try to figure out the deeper meanings of whatever messages these things are conveying, then that is your choice. For me, I feel like it's just not a good use of my time. Alright, so we got to the top of the mountain, found out where the lasers go. I guess we have, again, I'm pretty sure that this is indicating we are 4 of 7. I wonder if there are more than 7 lasers, and it's my choice as to which 7 I activate. Because I do notice these are coming in at different angles. And I highly doubt I happen to have done 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I suspect this is just marking the number I've done and not the positions of the ones that I've done. Not sure what that was about. All right. But I guess, did we actually accomplish anything in this episode? I think this entire episode was just wandering around. And I didn't cover a whole lot of ground either, based on that map. One nice thing about being up here, I guess, is that it's actually a decent vantage point. Hold on, if I go over on this side... Yeah, okay, that was... I did most of that structure, or maybe not most, but I did some of that structure. I can use this to get a sense. I think that's where we're going to go next time. Doing that from the front instead of from the back, because last time I tried it, I boat. I'm trying to get a sense of how much more there is here. Yeah, there's a laser, so yellow box. Second point. So that's probably the next thing I want to do. Tree houses I did some of. The mazes here I did some of. I think there's probably a laser in each. This maze was just a bunch of guessing and checking and no solutions, so that's never going to happen. So I think we're actually close to being done all of the game that I care to figure out on my... maybe one more section. Yeah, we finished the bamboo section as well. That's the starting area, which I'm pretty sure is done. There is that town in the center, which has a bunch of stuff. Yeah, coming up here was good, because this really gets me a sense of the scale of things. The boat's over there, so... Hmm. Desert's over there. Okay, I've actually done a lot more than I thought then. Hmm. Well, regardless, there are, it looks like, 2 stairways down at least that I've noticed. But yeah, we will do something in this section next time. I will see you then.